It's this time of the year, All Hallows Eve, 31st of October. I don't know, it's like I can sort of think back and go year by year, and I kind of am familiar with what this time of year brings, and kind of the different energies that come into play. The traditions of Halloween and the meanings have changed and woven over time. It's more of a holy day, and it all ties in. It's like crazy stuff happens all the time, but yeah, it's definitely more from this point. It can be a time to celebrate the ancestors, celebrate the spirit world, celebrate the dead. You know, you can make it all scary and spooky and it's fun and all that, but really, you know, underneath it all, it's a day of a time where the veil between the spirit world and the physical world is thinner. Essentially, people were scared of this, and they made these vegetables, scary vegetables, to scare away the evil spirits, and then that turned into a pumpkin. You know, I don't think it's the pumpkin itself that may have had any effect. It was probably more so the bulk intentions going into the process of making it. I think, you know, if you're doing it with such intention, that's where the magic is. My mom, she became a mum for the first time on Halloween, and I always just knew Halloween as my brother's birthday and my sister's birthday, the 1st of November, the day after. Yeah, so I mean, it was always a time of the year which was celebrated at home growing up, and I was never allowed to go trick-or-treating. I always wanted to, until I was about, I think, 11. That was around the time where me and my best friends at school were witches, and I don't know where it started. I guess it could have been like the Harry Potter books, or the Harry Potter movies, or I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we were weird kids. We were not the cool kids, and you know, it was so much more than a game. We got to about 11 and we discovered magic. It was kind of weird because we're at that age where like half of it was kind of us just playing around and being imaginative, and then like there was this other side, and you know, we like internet was sort of new, like we were getting access to that for the first time. Like when the pages would take like load like this much every 5 minutes, like this is old school. This was in like probably 2002, so those days. We're able to search all these like concepts and find out like that, you know, casting spells and whatnot wasn't just something on movies. It was, people were doing this, real people, so I guess we were influenced in that way. We used to make potions and love spells. I was so into it, like so into it. Even when, you know, my friends went home, like I would just we'd read all about the Salem witch trials. We would celebrate Halloween, and this was the day where we could dress up as ourselves, and you know, where the big witches had in the caves, and we could walk around the streets, and you know, the candy and stuff was secondary. Like this was our holiday, and then it was just kind of me doing my own Halloween thing for a few years. I love how Mexico celebrates the Day of the Dead. There was a time a couple of years ago where I would go to the cemetery almost every day. I would go to my grandparents' graves, I would take gifts, I would take a blanket, I'd sit there with my bongos, burning candles and burning incense and playing music. The only thing I thought was, wow, I wish there was somebody sitting on every single grave. So I would go around and sit on different graves. Yeah, I just think it should be a cultural thing where we don't forget the spirits of our loved ones, and even if it's about just keeping that spirit alive within us, to remember that you are a tiny part of something a lot bigger, which is still you at the same time. And then there was the Halloween, where I wasn't going to any particular Halloween event, but I felt this urge that I needed to dress up as Charlie Chaplin. And yeah, I did. I think I was working that day. I was working at a chicken shop, and these ideas were coming to me, and I was like, I have to dress up as Charlie Chaplin. I have to. And then I was just going to this like dancing room in Adelaide, which is just like this thing where people just meet up in the daytime, alcohol-free event, and just dance in the park. And you know, that was on that evening, but it wasn't like a Halloween thing or anything. But I just dressed up as Charlie Chaplin, and then I went to that. And I really kind of channeled it, like I really felt it. And then after the dancing was over, everyone went home, I just walked around the city dressed as Charlie Chaplin. I went into a cocktail bar, and I did not speak the whole time, and I sat at the bar, and you know, 10 minutes later, still not speaking. Like, there was just like the bartender in the bar, and he brings out, I think, what was it? It was like, I think first it was like a chessboard, and then it was like a shot or something, and then it was like we were playing like the video. There was like a video Nintendo thing there, and like, 'cause there was no one else in the bar, and I'm Charlie Chaplin, I'm not speaking. I just provided this person with entertainment, and then eventually I just left, kept doing my thing, walking down the street, and I was giving like, I think I went and bought some flowers, and I was like giving flowers to people walking by. And I had a studio at the time, an art studio. It's where I was like living. And then yeah, I remember going back there, and then yeah, we didn't. Yeah, I mean, after that, I think that particular Halloween, a lot of crazy things happened. The veil between the spirit world was, yeah, it was definitely thinner for me for a while, and that was actually the beginning of a complete roller coaster ride, which was both blissful, wonderful, and scary for some. But that's a whole other story. Yeah, Halloween, we can feel part of something bigger, remembering our ancestors and the spirit that flows through all of us and everyone on earth, and how we are one big earth family, and there is a divine spirit that runs through all of us.